You guys want to see something really cool? All right, so Ed, Extivita, we are standing in front of what will soon be what?
So let me explain a little bit here. Extivita is a sort of an adaptation of a Latin term, vita's life, and exta is extra for us. It's close enough. So Extivita is extending life through hyperbaric oxygen, and that's what the goal is here. You can see we're sort of in an industrial setting, and there's reasons for that, and I'll explain that when we get inside the clinic. I think you're going to see that. This parking area is going to be striped and getting resurfaced, and it's going to look a lot more friendly. No trucks, no garbage cans in this area, so it's a little bit more inviting. So come on in. We haven't got our railings in. That should be next week. And then it's all painted and stuccoed, finished up.
Ed, how close are we to Research Triangle Park here in Raleigh?
We are in Research Triangle Park, right on the very edge of it.
Right on the edge.
So we're on the northeast edge of Research Triangle Park.
Cool. So front entrance of the clinic.
Yeah. So this is the waiting area. So basically the vision here is to the right. You see check-in. So there's nurses and admin is back there. And so in this area, you'll have some seating. Back wall here is going to be a waterfall detail. So we want there to be the feeling of a spa as you come in here. And we'll have a TV over there in the corner. It's going to be some soothing stuff. And it's going to focus on hyperbarics and the experience being a really good experience and very healthy. We have a handicap bathroom. A lot of code compliance stuff here. This is the checkout, which is a requirement for HIPAA. So patients don't go to the same window, checking in, checking out. So once you're called in, if you're going to see the doctor, we have 2 exam rooms here. And so for a private exam, if that's necessary. And we also have this will be a weigh-in blood pressure, maybe not weigh-in, but blood pressure. And so once you get checked out, you'll be given a bin with some scrubs, and so pocketless scrubs. We don't want cell phones, watches, any electronic devices into the chambers. So there'll be doors on all these changing rooms. So you get changed, get on your scrubs, and put your clothes and all your valuables in the bin, and then you'll take that in the other direction. When you turn it in, you can just see a little more changing rooms. This is the men's side and the men's room, so there's bathrooms on each side. So we also have ladies' side, very similar. We have 7 changing rooms for the ladies and 5 for the men. And back here we have an office this is our safety office operations. One thing about Extivita is that everything is belts and suspenders when it comes to safety. We're going to make sure that we do far and above what other clinics are doing. So,
you guys, I want you to realize how cool this is, because this is not going to look like a clinic when they're done, and this is where you're going to see some really cool non-clinic stuff. This is going to be more of a spa environment than a clinic environment. And this gigantic wall of glass, tell us what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so this is basically a conference room, and so we've put a lot of glass in so that you can see through to where the chambers are, where the treatments are occurring. And we'll have a large screen TV in here doing, basically presenting some educational stuff on hyperbarics, because that's the key for hyperbarics, that people just get educated on its history, how long it's been around, and the extensive literature. So we'll have a bit of a library in here as well, with hundreds of references, so they can look at the Encyclopedia of Hyperbarics if they'd like to learn a little bit more while they're here. So pretty, it's a modern conference room. We'll have Wi-Fi and all sort of the modern communication capabilities here within the clinic. You
guys, before we go I'm going to take you over here, because this is a wall of glass, and you'll be able to watch what's going on when your people are in the hyperbaric treatment. There's 2 tanks. There's a big control room over here, a little control panel right there, which we're going to go take a look at in just a second. But I just want you to see this. This is not a hospital where you're isolated from people that are doing cool things for their bodies. You're actually going to be able to see them go into these massive submarine-looking tanks where they're going to be put under pressure and be breathing a mix of oxygen. we're going to go in tomorrow in those tanks, but so this clinic is not ready yet. This beautiful little hyperbaric spa is still being built, but we are going in, and I'll show you what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
So here's where you turn in your bin of your clothes and valuables, and you'll get your breathing equipment, which will either be a hood or a mask, depending on your preference. And those are kept at the clinic. They're cleaned and they're stored at the clinic. So once you get your hood or mask, then you come into this room here, and we're going to come up with a cute name for this, but right now it's called the staging room. You're getting staged here to go into the chambers. Once chambers are cleaned and ready, because we'll be turning them over every 2 hours, this group will go in. Could be a group as many as 8 for each one of the chambers. So you can see we put a lot of, the glass isn't in, but a lot of glass so you can see what's going on. Try and give you an open and more comfortable environment. So this room is going to be sort of like an aquarium. The way we're going to have this set up is that we have some lights that'll be pointing up at the ceiling. It'll look like you're underwater and you're looking up at the surface. If the sun would be shining on the surface, if you've ever dove, you know what that looks like. And then decals of fish everywhere. So the walls will have decals of fish. And we tried to create sort of like a sandy floor environment where it's, possibly, sort of just speckled sand. And we'll have fish on the tanks themselves too, just to, really to accommodate kids, to make them feel comfortable. Because one of the great benefits with hyperbarics is for cerebral palsy or autism. So many of these childhood issues can be improved, as I've learned through the research in hyperbarics. So this will have a platform, a couple steps here, and a handicap ramp on the other side.
You guys, you're going to see the cool part. We're going to get inside.
So this is the smaller chamber. It's 6 foot diameter, and I've done 40 treatments in this chamber myself. It's been rehabilitated, and the chairs have been taken out right now. They're having new cushions put together for it, and just continually working to modernize this. So this will fit 8 people in one treatment, and along with the 8 that are getting treatments, there'll be a tender. And our plan with the tenders is to essentially work with a lot of the first responders in the area and provide them with free treatments. And they can help within the chambers. They've all had training in CPR. And that's about all you really need, I think, from a safety standpoint of a tender inside, because it could take 5 minutes to depressurize to get the doctor to the patients. So
how deep, how many atmospheres are they going to be in here?
Yeah, you're not going to go, it's going to be rare to go more than 2 atmospheres. We're at 1 at sea level, so it's a full atmosphere. It's the equivalent of a 33-foot dive. So if you've ever dove, 33 feet is not very deep. And based on that, we surface from the dive in about 8 minutes. So there's absolutely no issues with any sort of issues like the bends. So it's you get the nitrogen cleared out of your system completely, and that's not an issue. So, and
that dumpster's not going to be there, you guys. It's going to be a beautiful view of some more matured trees in a while, right?
Yeah, it's all going to be landscaped, that back hill, and so that the FedEx Center, which is the only industrial building within a half-mile here, is going to be covered with trees.
You guys, look how bright this room is. This room is so crazy bright, and the lights aren't even on yet. The ceiling's not done because they haven't had some of the inspections done yet, and this room is incredibly bright. This does not look like a hospital or a clinic for that matter. This is going to be more of a, I'm just going to show you in between these tanks so you can see what's going on in here. You can see there's a lot of the mechanical stuff that they ran under the floor so that you don't see all that nonsense. I'm going to show you that control panel in just a second, which is really cool. So this is a big tank.
Yep, this is the 8-foot diameter, and one of the guys working on it is 6'5". I mean, he stands up, doesn't come close to the ceiling. So
hey, look, it looks like an airplane.
Yeah, so these seats are, because of the diameter, it's a little wider. The seating's a little bit different, so we sort of set it up like a small airplane. And we're working on setting a TV up there, so there'll be some movies or educational stuff going on during the dive. And so each one of these chambers actually has 2 chambers. There's an airlock. And we're going to be operating these as separate chambers. So this airlock will operate with 4 people in it, and there'll be 8 in here. So So a total of 12 basically can get treatments within the chamber.
So I want you guys to imagine sitting in this thing, just chilling out for an hour, watching a movie, and you're getting oxygen at pressure, which has some, I can't cover all the benefits in this video. We're already at 10 minutes and we haven't even really seen the control panel or anything yet. I just want to give you guys a little view of what's going on here.
Okay, so these chambers, although they'll only go to 2 atmospheres, can go somewhere about 8. So
wow,
they're way over designed. Basically, they're used for dive. For commercial divers that are going down, 200 feet and have to basically come up very slowly and live in these things for days. In fact, you can see this would be a passage connecting to another chamber or passing food through to them or other things. And so the other small chamber on this side, you can see that in there. So there's double doors on either side. Separately. So yeah, this is the back end of the.
So there's a bunch of nonsense going on back there that'll have panels over the top of it, just so you can see what some of the things that are the sophisticated computer systems that are actually driving all of the things in those tanks that we were just showing you. And there's another airlock on this side as well, in a small tank. And if I turn around, there's the little area you came in, and then I'm going to look at this gigantic wall of windows here, and there's that conference room we were sitting in earlier. And all kinds of clinic stuff back here where they're doing laundry and all that kind of fun stuff. We're going to look at the control panel.
Right, so because we have essentially 4 chambers, there are 4 separate controls here. Each one of them is set up with 4 video cameras so that you can see what's going on in there. And then the communication devices, each one of these are 2-channel. And so what we've done here is provided both analog and digital tracking and controls for the system. So although it's all controlled with a touch screen when this is operating, and it's been tested and used, it works within the touch screen, or you can work it with switches. So as again we said earlier, belts and suspenders in our approach here. So it's completely fail safe. And then if all else fails and power goes down and none of that's working, you have hand valves.
So there's manual controls on the tanks themselves as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And then one more really big monster room with no lights, but we're going to just show you from here.
Here, if you stand up with your foot there.
There's a gigantic tank in here, you guys.
So this is all we have in the room.
So there's a monster tank in here.
Does that help?
Yeah, that helps a lot.
You can come through here and you see the compressors and the fire systems.
Woo, it's dark and scary. So fire suppression, compressors.
Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of water, is maybe a better word, within the tanks. If there is a reason that somebody presses the fire button, better be a good reason.
Yeah.
You get a gallon a square foot per minute. So everyone gets a bath pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so even though you're not in a pure oxygen environment, you're only going to be breathing through a hood or a mask, there's very little risk.
Yeah.
In fact, hyperbaric clinic insurance, malpractice insurance, is the lowest of any type of clinic in the country from what I gather from the insurance brokers.
Cool.
So good stuff.
How cool is that? Yeah, you want to check out the website. I'll post it.